Welcome to World Monologue Games 2024. You're watching the Tigers category and the region is Canada, Egypt and the United Kingdom. Please hit the like or subscribe button or leave a comment for the actors. Voting lines will be open for 48 hours from the end of this broadcast, so if you'd like to vote, a link will be available in the description of this video. Enjoy the show.
Can you see this blocking glass? Can you see that every part of it's broken? This is me. And this is all my feelings. This is my life. Do you want to know that I'm not forgetting my life, dark? My father. My father is the main reason for being suffered. Yes, he is my father. Why are you shocked? Actually, my father is different from all the fathers. It means that every father is the support and the backbone of his children except my father. I am completely broken. I don't have the air to live and move. Specifically the people around me. I can't stand my dad. And I am as straight as you can believe. Most of my stress and the depression come from living with him and his ego. My mom actually filed for a divorce a couple of years ago, but he persuaded her to stay with him, which brought me into a long depression. My friends often think of my hatred as something that will pass with age, but it's too much. I can't bear it. I want him to leave me alone, to let me live like any person. My past life is surrounded by screaming, insulting, but now he does it every day. I see a comment button with dads having specific ego. My mom, my father is one of them.
I want to be able to form healthy relations with people. I'm scared. Never. Since reading about cover narcissism, it's all I worry obsessively about. I'm very self-absorbed, and I worry don't feel empathy like a normal person. Affective empathy, feeling what others feel. When I listen to people talk, I mentally try and make the effort to put myself in their shoes. That doesn't come naturally. I don't care about other people's problems. I act nice to be liked and accepted. All of these thought patterns scare me. I have opened up all of these fears to my mom and two close friends, and all of them have said they didn't think I'm a narcissist because I didn't behave like one. As a narcissist, I don't have anything of value to give to anyone, and I'm just an empty shell of a person. Outside of work, should I socially isolate myself to mitigate the harm I cause to others? I'm too scared to commit suicide, and it would devastate my mother, so it is not an option. As a narcissist, it's a challenging process to go through my life, but by acknowledging my feelings, seeking support, cutting off contact, and practicing self-care, I can move forward in life and find happiness once again.
I know what you're thinking. It's weird, right? Thinking, why am I in a tree? Crying whilst eating a banana like a monkey. Well, it is more complicated than you think. Yesterday, I was in my house about to eat breakfast. and my ginormous hole formed in the ground. Yes, right there, in my kitchen. I freaked out. And then it got worse. The hole started sucking me in. What was I supposed to do? Grab a banana? Well, actually, that was exactly what I did. The next thing I know, the hole transported me into a machine. Made me half human and half monkey. Now I have to live in a tree, walk on all fours, and eat 90% bananas and 10% of everything else. Bad part is that I don't even like bananas. Sorry, I got a bit carried away. But if it can happen to me, it could happen to you. Don't feel so go.
You're not being any help at all. You're supposed to be here to help me decide what to wear. But all you've done so far is sit there and flick through that stupid magazine. Don't you know there's more important things in life? Because I want to look my best. Because I want her to like me. Because it means a lot to my dad. That's why. I want to make a good impression. He must really like her. Because he's never introduced me to any of his girlfriends before. So it must be serious. He's just going out with her. Of course he isn't going to marry her. Is he? But that means she'll be my stepmom. And I don't think I want another mum. I mean, I've already got one. And I don't think I want to decide between two of them. That could get really confusing. Oh, don't be silly. Not all stepmoms are evil. That's just in the fairy tales. Not really true. Sammy's stepmom wasn't very nice to her because she kept running away, but she had right to get cross. Whereas Alice's stepmom is always really nice. She bakes cakes and takes her shopping. Maybe they just seem nice to start with to get the dad. And then they turn into these horrible evil people who trap you and cast magical spells on you just to get rid of you. Oh, I hadn't thought that. Maybe they weren't just fairy tales after all. Maybe the evil stepmother is a real person. Well then, I don't want to make a good impression. In fact, I'm going to make a really bad impression. I'm going to look dreadful. I won't wear any makeup. And I'll wear my baggy old jeans with holes in. And I'll make my hair come messy. I'll grunt and mumble. I won't answer when she talks to me. I'll just look at the floor and shuffle my feet. Then she won't like me. And she'll never marry my dad. Because she'll never want to come near me again. Job done.
I could come in here and say I'm fine and that today was an amazing day. That would be lying. My life has been nothing but painful for the past 2 years. With names thrown at me from every direction and pranks just pull me to see me in pain and agony. My self-esteem has gone down. And half the time, I don't want to show up at school or be seen at a store or a mall. Bullying has been my life at school and even on the internet. People say such cruel and harsh things. And I believe them sometimes. What I have done to deserve this? Why can't everybody just be accepted for who they are? I've been dieting, trying new styles, just to make people like me more. But even they make fun of me. lost 10 pounds or when clothes was their style. I started wearing baggy clothes because I'm seen as overweight. To the fact, I'm seen as a monster with a bunch of ASM. Will it ever stop? I literally come home in tears. But nobody cares what I think. The more bullying happens to me, the more I become depressed and anxiety hits me from every angle. If society keeps going on like this, the teen world will be in shambles. I just have to say one more thing. Is bullying truly what the world needs? Or do we need to rebuild the world on peace and trust?
My mother's good at all, but it's hard to push her from much support. You see, when I was in high school, a girl said that she made a fake Facebook page about me. This was back when Facebook was still new, and my mother didn't let us get one. I was horrified, but the girl did, and I told my mother, thinking she would show me some perspective and comfort me. Instead, she screamed at me that it was all my fault and I had much sense to the girl. And I didn't even say something to the girl. She convinced me that it was all my fault. I comforted the girl about it and told my teachers. And it turns out, the girl didn't have any Facebook page about me. She was lying. I told my mother, and all she spat out of her mouth was, "Good. No apology or anything?" One time, I got up to eat dinner because I needed to throw up. She said that I was ruining everyone's meal. Seriously? Didn't you think my meal was ruined too? Even now, I don't have any relationship with her. She refuses to say where she went wrong. It really sucks.
Whatever comes cannot alter one thing. If I am a princess in rags and tatters, I can still be a princess on the inside. It would be easy to be a princess dressed in cloth of gold, but it would be a great deal more of a triumph to be one on the inside, all the time when no one knows it. There was Marie Antoinette, when the last queen of France before the French Revolution. When she was in prison and her throne was gone, and she had only a black gown on. They insulted her and called her Widow Capet. She was more of a queen then, rather than when everything was so gay and grand. I like her best then. Those howling mobs of people did not frighten her, even when they cut her head off.
When I was told my dad died, I felt like someone was ripping my heart out. I felt like someone punched a hole into my chest and pulled all my organs out. I felt like hollow. Wouldn't they think that I would be sad if they told me that my dad died face to face? It's not even appropriate. I remember every single thing in that day. I remember coming back from school, ready to tell my dad that I won the competition I promised I would win. But he wasn't there to hear me. He was one of the most kindest person I ever saw in my life. The only thing I was mad about, that Christmas was sad. Halloween was sad. My birthday was sad. His birthday was sad. Every event was sad. I wish he was here. I wish he was here to join me. Every event I thought it would be in joy. But it will not, as he is gone and he will never come back again.
You know, I love my room. I spent all of the day in my room. Wait. Obviously, you don't want to know this voice. It's a fight between mom and dad. Don't be surprised as this voice became habitual in our house. Recently, I'm used to it and hear it daily. Nevertheless, I have not had any concern towards this voice. Consequently, once the argument starts, I also start loudly to sing my favorite song. Meanwhile, this will not be sufficient for not to be scared from the voice. Hence, I would put my head under the pillow and close my eyes. Then I could rest assured it is totally foreseeable what is going to happen to me right now. Now, mom is going to come and loudly say, "Shut up your mouth!" Then dad shall go while he's shouting and closing the whole door nervously. You know why this fight happened? Well, in COVID-19, my dad lost his job. So now we don't have any money. That's why they're fighting. My heart is broken every time I have to give up a parent. My sense of security is lost. Please, don't assume that my life will be exactly as it was. Please, don't assume that I'm resilient. And I will continue to feel the same love from both of you. I'm a human being just like you. I need love, attention, stability, nurturing, understanding, and mostly to be wanted. This is aside from my current lovely day. I'm telling more lovely stories than this bad reality. Wishing you a happy day. Absolutely not same to my day. My father and Mr. survived. My mom died from 2006. I lost both of them by the time I turned 16. I turned 16. This has been the worst experience of my life. Become orphan broke me. Shattered everything I believe in. The worst part is that no one around you understands what you go through or feel every day. After my mom passed out 6, I tried to avoid the school and became a completely different person. Without trying, I was alone and scared. I wept every day. I lost interest in everything that mattered to me and couldn't keep things together. I became extremely quiet and shut myself out. I started struggling academically and dropped from being the second best in class to the 20 out of 30 students. I couldn't stop without crying or among my parents. I couldn't focus. I was suffering emotionally. I had no one. Absolutely no one to talk to. No one in my family even reached out to me or said everything was going to be okay. You know, I hate waiting days. Most people came over and had fun with their kids. And all I wanted to have at least one parent visit. One parent visit.
I'm 12. Yes, I'm only 12. I don't know everything you do, but I need you to listen to me because I think I know something here. I know that when you yell at Mom, it's usually because you think you're right and she's wrong. But if Mom's crying because you're yelling about how wrong she is, then I think you're even more wrong. I'm only 12, as you like to remind me. You know more stuff. But I know there must be a better way to make your point than to stick Mom with it until she cries. Maybe you could soften your point, like I did with Jackie. I didn't tell you or Mom this, but Jackie took my favorite dress without asking, the one I was going to wear my first day back at school, and went to a sleepover and got grape soda all over it. It's ruined! I wanted to yell at her, to tell her right in front of you and Mom how insensitive she was and how she's a bad sister because she didn't think of me at all and how she's totally selfish. But the last time I did that, she didn't talk to me for a week. And no. Instead, I downloaded that funny movie about the school dance she was dying to see, and we watched it and we laughed. And when we were both really happy together, I told her quietly, privately in a room about how excited I'd been to wear the dress my first day back at school and what I loved about it. She said I was just telling her to make her feel bad. I said I was just telling her because I wanted her to know how I felt, because I wasn't sure she knew. She said she kind of knew, but not how much it mattered to me. So when she finally apologized, I knew it was real, not because you or Mom made her, but because she loves me. So I'm saying, instead of yelling at Mom when she gets home, maybe you should take her on a really nice date instead. I'm just saying, do you want Mom to be nicer to you, or do you just want to be right? It's up to you, Dad.
Hi, my name is Avia. Let me get down. So, why do all the kids want a phone? Like, hello, there's so much more in this world than phones. For example, you can read, play games, go on a walk. It's just unbelievable. Everywhere I look, I see people with phones. It's just horrible. I hate it. Look for the better in life. Try to play more than watch. Right now I'm doing something called aerial acrobatics. It's when I get to go on my silks. But we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about those dummies out there who are always on their phones. I think they are dummies because they stopped having a social life. And when they're right next to their friends, they just text each other instead. It's also better to play because it doesn't turn your mind into mashed POTATOES. And that's why I try to play it more outside instead of watch. And also why I'm asking my mommy to stop asking if I want a phone. I don't want a phone. So please, take a break and go outside. And take a challenge. See if you can live a life as if it was the old days where there were no screen and you can read, write, or draw. So please, take a break and go outside. Please. Goodbye for now.
This is my father. He was working as a lower-level employee in an office. He's a very nice person. and he's respected very much in our family. But this is where the problem starts. It happened one day. I was studying at 4th standard when I had went to my father's office to tell him that I got the full mark in a very important exam. But I saw that my father was not in his office. So I waited outside for some time until I saw my father coming out of the boss's office. I saw a face I will never forget. I saw the fair face of my dad turning red. He went straight to a corner and looked out a window there. He had not noticed me yet. So I slowly walked up to him and called him. I saw streams of tears flowing down his eyes. He was slightly disturbed seeing me. He did not find any time to wipe out his tears. Could my father cry? He was the strongest person I had ever seen in my whole life. It was out of my imagination that someone could hurt my father and make him cry. So I went straight to the boss's office while my father was calling me from behind. But listening to nothing, I went and asked the boss, "Why did you make my father cry?" And the boss was also surprised. And thereafter, my father tried to explain to me what had happened. But that day, I had decided a very important decision that will turn my life around. I decided that day that I would become a boss, but I will never make my subordinates cry ever, anytime. Because they're not only the employees of my office, but they're also respected people and dear father or brother or somebody from their families or surroundings. People say you can't control someone without scolding them. But I say, for where is love then there?
My first few weeks of middle school were great, but slowly things started to change. I started noticing our group of friends at the lunch table starting getting smaller. I noticed that the only person who used to be my best friend since kindergarten didn't even want to talk to me anymore. She only wanted to hang out with me on weekends when she was bored. In middle school I had one best friend, but of course, we didn't have the same classes, so without her, I felt terrible. I started noticing things I hadn't noticed before. People would make fun of me for wearing the same outfits. They would say things about me being too shy, or even they make fun of the way I talk. I tried my best for hiding myself for not getting hurt. My mom started noticing changes in me emotionally. My grades were dropping. Honestly, I didn't care about school anymore. It seemed like all the people in my school cared about are materialistic things. Clothes, hair, nails, dating. It was all just horrible. I convinced my mom to homeschool me after 2 years what felt like utter chaos. So many people would think homeschooling turned me into a Patrick living under a rock. But actually, homeschooling was one of the best things that had ever happened to me. I was able to mature and know who I was as a person. I extremely got better at talking. I learned to have more compassion to the ones who got hurt by others. I found out that people were way different out of my middle school realm. Most especially, I've learned to be strong, kind, and most especially courageous.
Life is unfair. Why everyone I just betray me? Why is life full of hate and deceit? Why people are so fake and shallow? You were there 2 years ago at school in the basketball court, running and jumping, dribbling the ball, passing it and scoring. I was impressed. Suddenly, you were hit by one of the girls in the other team. I quickly rushed to help you, remember? Since then, we became best friends. Or that's what I thought. until you started to act weird. You were forcing me to do your homework, to do your assignments, even to carry your bag. I was okay at first. I never thought you were using me, that we were friends, helping each other. I was so naive. I had a terrible life at home. My mom is always busy trying to afford our living, and my dad, all he does is spending my mommy's money. I told you everything. I trusted you. You were everything to me. I even tolerated your greediness and endless demands until it wasn't tolerable anymore. You were using me to satisfy your selfishness. You were treating me as a maid, not as a friend. And I wish you would change, but as they say, people never change. They just become more of who they really are. And now you're showing your true colors because I said no. You spread rumors about me in school. You turned all my friends against me. You even made them accuse me of very shameful things. You didn't love me at all. You were just pretending to be. I can't believe how everyone went on your side. I am right. You are such a manipulator. Why doesn't anyone believe me? I don't want any harm or anything to happen to me or to anyone else. I quit. Like...
Alright, thanks for watching. If you'd like to help select who goes through to the global finals, you can vote for your 2 favourite performances from the show. A link to the voting form will be available in the description of this video for 48 hours from the end of the broadcast. Please note that you do have to vote for 2 performances, not just 1, and you can only vote once per show. If you want to see our other upcoming events, please check out worldmonologuegames.com. See you next time.